Good afternoon. Today I'm making this video because of the comments in my last video. A couple of people have queried what is draped over the door behind me. And some people have suggested that this might be the flag of a poo-poo organization. You know, I'm assuming it's one of the organizations in what do you call it? Israel, around Israel, that region of the world. And I have been to Israel. So hands up, I've been to Israel. I'm a bad guy. But I went for a bar mitzvah. I was invited. And I have very strong opinions on Israel. I've always had very strong opinions on Israel. So it was against my better judgment for me to go there. But this has nothing to do with Israel. This has nothing to do with Israel. You see, the flag that you see, let me just kind of turn this a little bit so you can see a bit more of the flag. There's a Manchester United scarf. Actually, let me go over so I can remove the Manchester United scarf. So you can see, somehow I've gone and knocked over my seat. You can see a star. You can see a star on the flag. But let's focus back on me. Yeah. So that flag is from a country. Well, put it this way, you all know that my family are from Jamaica. So I have a love of any country that's near Jamaica. I'm nuts about any country that's near Jamaica. So I love Brazil. Brazil is probably my favorite country in that region after Jamaica, followed by Cuba. So these are the countries I most want to visit. It's Brazil and Cuba. But one of the countries I would love to visit is a country of that flag. So to let you know what country that is, because we all need a lesson once in a while. You know, so many flags are very similar. I think the Dutch flag, is the Dutch flag similar to the French flag and so on? And this may be similar to another flag. But this is the flag of Suriname. A lot of you won't have heard of Suriname. Suriname, let me tell you about Suriname. Suriname, officially the Republic of Suriname, is a country in northern South America. Okay? Now, as far as I'm concerned, they're not involved in any pew, pew, pew. Also considered part of the Caribbean and West Indies. And obviously, I'm West Indian Caribbean. It's situated slightly north of the equator. Over 90% of its territory is covered by rainforest, the highest proportion of forest cover in the world. So now you've learned something about Suriname. The highest proportion of rainforest in the world is in this beautiful country called Suriname. Okay? Suriname is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the north, French Guiana to the east, and Brazil to the south. Hence, Brazil, my love of Brazil. Anywhere near Brazil, I love those countries. And Suriname is one of those countries. And trust me, in the World Cup, as much as I support England, I'm English all the way, I also support Brazil. I also always want Brazil to get to the final because it's exciting. It's exciting. Brazil is football. We invented football, but Brazil took ownership of it after we invented it. Okay? So I love watching Brazilian footballers. One of my favorite footballers of all time is Ronaldinho. I mean, seriously, sometimes I go on YouTube and I just watch his highlights because that guy was like a god of football. So yeah, I do love Brazil. So where was I? So Brazil to the south and Guyana to the west. It is the smallest country in South America by both population and territory. And that's what makes it quite unique because it's one of the only countries in that region that is both considered West Indian, Caribbean, and South American. There's a few others. I'm not sure if Puerto Rico might be considered the same. But anyway. It is the smallest country in South America by both population and territory, with around 612,985 inhabitants in 2021, in an area of approximately 165,940 square kilometers. or 64,000 square miles. The capital and the largest city is Paramaribo, which is home to the roughly half the population of the country. So, it's definitely a very interesting country. Suriname was inhabited as early as the 4th millennium BC by various indigenous people, including the Arawaks, who were also in Jamaica. So and the Caribs, again in Jamaica you found Caribs, and the Wayana. I don't know if the Wayana were in Jamaica. Europeans arrived and contested the area in the 16th century, with the Dutch controlling much of the country's current territory by the late 17th century. Under Dutch rule, Suriname was a lucrative plantation colony focused mostly on sugar. Its economy was driven by African slave labour until the abolition of slavery in 1863. Approximately 300,000 enslaved Africans were taken to Suriname during the transatlantic slave trade, another thing very similar to Jamaica, except a lot more slaves were taken to Jamaica. From the mid-1600s to the early 1800s, so that's like 200 years of basically kidnapping of Africans who were exported to Suriname. After 1863, indentured servants were recruited mostly from British India, same as Jamaica and Trinidad in the Caribbean, and the Dutch East Indies. In 1954, Suriname became a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. On the 25th of November 1975, it became independent following negotiations with the Dutch government. Suriname continues to maintain close diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties with the Netherlands. And I love the Netherlands as well, you see. I go to Holland quite a lot. I've got some very close friends in the Netherlands, and it's like the most chilled country in Europe. It's like going to Thailand, but in another country in Europe. Suriname's culture and society strongly reflects the legacy of Dutch colonial rule. It is the only independent state outside Europe where Dutch is the official and prevailing language of government, business, media, and education. An estimated 60% of the population speaks Dutch as a native language, but they also speak English and Creole languages. English itself is widely spoken, understood, and used. Most Suriname are descendants of slaves brought from Africa by Europeans and indentured labourers brought from Asia by the Dutch. So there you go. That is what that flag is. That is what that material is draped over my door. So please take those dirty words out of your mouth. I would never, ever, ever have a flag of any what I would call dangerous or violent organizations on my door. So I wouldn't have an American flag, for instance, because that is a dangerous and violent organization. Well, the government is. And, I only have peace-loving flags. Suriname is a peace-loving country, just like Jamaica. Underneath that flag is my Jamaican flag. I'll show you, actually. It's something that's very important to me. So I'll show you. If I take all this off, pull this along, just fix it a bit. Ooh. For many years, all I had on that door was my Jamaican flag. But I love South America, and I'm going to parade this flag, and you're going to learn to love it too. So that's all I've got to say. I'm just clearing my name. As usual, please do like the video, share the video. Feel free to leave comments below. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe, and I will speak to you next time.
You shook me up, now stick around. My heart beats racing as my love comes down. Oh, tonight's the night to put your hands on me.